Hi everyone, Hi-Anthony Tom Tano here, the internet's busiest music nerd. And it's time for a review of the new Pianos Become the Teeth record, Keep You. These guys are a Baltimore rock band. Their third album is this album. Their second, I reviewed in 2011. It feels like it was so much more recent. But I vividly remember coming away from this record feeling like, hey, the band has some good production and they sound together while they're playing, you know, like tightness. But as far as the style, the sound, the musical composition of this record, it was just emo by the numbers. These guys were just not stand out in a face of new, young groups who are worshiping at the altar of cap and jazz and American football. Pianos Become the Teeth just really didn't have a musical identity of their own. And yeah, that's how I felt. And now it seems that with their new record here, they have changed. They have taken it upon themselves to change their sound, change their style. And it's a pretty bold and surprising change. The band has slowed down the tempos of many of their songs. Very mild drumming on this thing, playing it very straight. The guitar tones on this thing are reminiscent of some 2000s era post-rock, like some Explosions in the Sky or This Will Destroy You. And for the most part, the really impassioned screams and shouts that were all over the last record aren't really on this record. Rather, now the vocals are way calmer. They are sadder. They are intelligible. You can hear what the words are saying. Now, there are definitely still some emo influences wafting around in the air now that the band has like burned their old sound to the ground. And this might come out in like a chord progression or a guitar melody or maybe like a quivering vocal that is maybe a little Conor Oberst-esque. But now, after this change, the band just sounds like some faceless 90s college rock throwaway band that nobody remembers now because they weren't really that good then. While they were active, they were really middle of the road because they couldn't decide. They couldn't decide whether or not they wanted to go more mainstream, go more underground, go for more of a REM, Goo Goo Dolls, Bush, Three Doors Down kind of sound. Maybe a little Matchbox 20 or something in there for good measure. I wouldn't say this record sounds quite that poppy, but that's the thing. It only borders on sounding like that, but it also just borders on sounding like something sort of emotionally pained and potentially interesting. I get this serious sense of sadness from a lot of these songs, but it only really ever comes from some of the forced vocal performances and the very reverbed, cavernous atmosphere around this instrumentation. Rarely do I actually hear a lyric or like a melody that actually touches me in any way emotionally. When it comes to lyrics and melodic writing, listening to this album is kind of like staring into a void of nothingness. So not only is this record underwritten, but it feels like Pianos Become the Teeth don't really know what side of the fence they want to sit on, what kind of crowd they want to appeal to, what kind of sound they want to create. Because even though the band is coming through with a new sound on this new record, I just feel like I'm getting another undefined, nondescript set of songs that, in comparison with their last album, are most definitely uninteresting, I think inferior, simply because the performances are way, way, way less riveting. This record is offensively inoffensive. I'm feeling a light to decent 4 on this thing. Transition, if you've given this record a listen, what did you think? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Why? What do you think I should review next? And that's it. Anthony Fantano, Pianos Become the Teeth, forever.